associate professor specializing in cybersecurity, Internet of Things, Industry 4.0, cloud computing, big data, and machine learning. He's authored and co-authored close to 200 articles in journals, conference proceedings, and book reviews, and graduated 15 PhDs in addition to masters and undergraduate students. He's given several keynote speeches and dozens of invited lecturers and workshops in conferences, universities, and industry. Dr. Silva is involved in MyRAN, which is a working group head for internet security, as well as Mission Crime Prevention Foundation and other various technical forums locally and globally. While building his profile academically, he's still very much involved in industrial projects and so on. He also has experience building IoT, embedded server, mobile, and web-based applications. So without further ado, I'd like to leave the floor to Dr. Selvakumar. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for the introduction. So I guess it's 3 p.m. in the afternoon. It's going to rain in Penang. I don't know how the weather is, whichever part of the country you are from. So since I'm only given 1 hour, I will get straight to the business of the talk. So today, what I'm going to talk about is not technical. I try to be as layman as possible, so that the stuff we talk about is something that you can use as a general computer internet users. So I've been doing this from on and off at schools, at various other organization, what do you call this, communities, associations, and so on. So hopefully that you take away some information or knowledge that you can use yourself to be more resilient. You like the term cyber resilient, meaning that being resilient from becoming victimized online, or being attacked, or your computers or your devices being hacked, and so on. So if you have any questions while I talk, I like to go off tangent sometimes. Please accept my apologies for that. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to stop and ask me as we go on. So I'm gonna I'm gonna turn off my video because I don't think I'm pretty enough, for my video to be on. It's more important that I share the slides, right? So let me go ahead and share my slides, and I will do presentation. Okay, share the screen. All right, can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so generally I will start with some exciting data facts about the world we live in. I assume that all of us live in the cyber world more than we do in the real world. Well, I'm not sure if the fact that we are gearing towards realizing the world of matrix in the next 50, 60, 100 years, right? But it looks like that's what we are going towards, right? Being plugged directly to the cyberspace. Anyway, Matrix 4 is coming up. I'm excited about it. Hope you are also excited if you're a fan. So what you're looking at the screen is what's happening on the internet every minute in the last in 2020. So you can see so much data is being exchanged. 1.3 million logins to Facebook, 4.37 million videos viewed on YouTube, people tweeting. I'm not going to talk about TikTok. $1.1 million spent online, Netflix, almost 800,000 hours. So you can see that there's so much happening online, on the internet, the cyberspace. I'm not sure if it's something for us to be proud about. Malaysians are in the top 10 users of Facebook in the world by percentage to the population. I'm not on social media. The closest I'm on social media is on LinkedIn, even that I'm considering to leave because LinkedIn is now slowly starting to sound a bit like Facebook. Hopefully, they do something about it. So, a lot of things have been happening on the internet. A lot of things we do on the internet. We live on the internet practically. Uh, and that's a fact, right? So a bit of history. Can anybody tell me what this is? Hello. Anybody can tell me what you're looking at? The person talking, your line is breaking. Your voice is breaking up. It's still breaking up. Probably can. Okay,
IBM
looks like
computer.
yeah. Come again.
IBM computer.
IBM computer.
Yeah.
Close. Close. I saw a plane. Looks like a plane, right? Uh, Basically, what we're
Pen
looking at.
Air.
What is this?
Oh, that is a hard disk.
Hadis, betul. Hadis berapa besar tu? Storage.
Maybe
Bukan besar
10,
dari segi, bukan besar dari
10,
segi kilogram, dari segi
10,
storage.
maybe 10 MB,
10
probably.
MB. 10 lah. Close, close.
Close. Aha, 100 MB.
5 megabyte.
Aduh, ha.
Right, this is how a 5 megabyte hard drive looked like back in 1956. Require forklift. You need a forklift to carry a 5 megabyte hard drive. Right? The phone we carry nowadays, right? What is the storage like?
500 gig.
My phone only 128 gig, tak update lagi, right? So imagine you carry a small device in your palm which has 128 gigabyte. This thing you see on your screen is 5 megabyte, right? And slowly, the storage capacity went up 1 gigabyte. 20 years ago, looked like this, right? And nowadays I don't ask people how old you are. I said, have you used 5.25 inch floppy disk? If they say yes, then I know you're about 40ish, right? If I say, have you ever used 8-inch floppy disk? If you say yes, then you must be 55 and above, right? So we ask your technology usage to identify how old you are. And, uh, 2 terabyte on your fingertip, 2 terabytes, right? You can already get 1 terabyte now, but 2 terabyte is very expensive, but it's available, right? Somebody said, gosh, I remember using punch card. Man, who's that? Eslina. You must be older than me then. Punch card. So I guess don't say that. Right? You don't want people to find out. Yeah, I understand how you feel, right? But it also gives you the sense of appreciation of the technology revolution that we have been through, right? So kids nowadays do not understand the revolution. If you look at my kids, this is what the time they spend on, right? The technology they are exposed to is way advanced to what we've been through. So there's a level of appreciation. When you started using the internet, I started with 14.4 kilobit per second jarring, right? So even the topic I'm going to talk about today is also an evolution of time. Remember viruses infecting floppy disks and so on and so forth. Exciting times, right? Don't exchange floppy disks, right? Don't share floppy disks with friends you do not know. That problem still exists, right? We say don't share USB disks, don't share thumb drives, pen drives, and so on, right? Okay, so let me continue, or else I'll keep on talking about full stuff. And now You know, we went to CD, then we went to do USB sticks. Now I don't even carry any USB stick anymore. Everything is on the cloud, right? Where's your file? It's on the cloud. Where's the cloud? No, nobody knows. Where's your file? I don't know. It's on the cloud. Where is it? Nobody knows. So, what do you call this? So, everything has gone online. Storage has gone online. Dating has gone online. Entertainment has gone online. Nobody watches TV anymore, right? TV in the sense, we have a fishbone antenna, and we used to have Astro, now Netflix, Amazon, what else? Disney Plus, and so on and so forth. Right? Everything has gone online. Everything. Right? So a bit more of history. Can you tell me what this is? Anybody? Saya suka tanya soalan.
Ni IC.
IC ya? Nombor IC saya tak boleh bagi tahu.
Ni apa?
Oh, IC. Circuit board.
Yeah, circuit board. Yeah, that one I'm trying to say.
Okay, this is not actually circuit board. This is actually the internet. Back in 1977, if you look at I don't know why the yellow boxes I tried to highlight. If you look at the organization like Pentagon, ARPA, siapa lagi, MIT, Lincoln University, Stanford University, dan lain-lain, Rutgers, New York University, dan lain-lain. And benda-benda yang kotak ni is actually computers. Oh, those days we call workstation, mainframe. So the internet was made out of like 15, 20 organizations, basically in US, and the internet had about less than 100 computers, 100 hosts on the network. That's it. That was what internet was back in 77. That's how it was set up. People never thought, or the inventor of the internet never thought that people will use the internet. They thought that only universities will use them for research. Maybe military will use them for research. Nobody will ever use the internet, so it probably will die off. But from what it was called in 1977 ARPANET, which was a small project, right? Nobody ever thought that it will become to a global, always on network, right? We talk about world population, almost 8 billion. I think by end of the year, we might cross 8 billion. About 6 billion, close to 6 billion is getting there, is online. I mean, 6 billion people are online, right? When I talked about the same thing 5 years ago, it was 2 billion people out of 7 point something billion, 2 billion. And 5 years later, 6 billion people have gone online. As we move forward, everybody on this planet will go online, and pretty much everything will also go online. With the proliferation of Internet of Things, IoT, 5G coming into play. So you can expect pretty much everything to be online. Things you want, things you don't want, and whatnot will go online, right? So this is where we are today. And as with the internet becoming more and more important to the way we live our life, the more it becomes part of our life, more intertwined with our daily activities, and where there's good stuff that can be, what do you call this, be leached on, be stolen, uh, be brought down, and so on. There's always bad guys out there, right? The more the internet becomes important, the more it opens up doors for cyber criminals. So nobody is spared from being a victim. No organization, no uh, no individuals like us, not government, not universities. No one is spared from cyber threats, cyber security issues. So uh, this is a bit about me. So you can contact me on those emails if you are interested to know more about what I do in terms of security or what we can work on and stuff like that. I prefer that everybody calls me Selva. Uh, I like things to be informal, right? I'm an associate professor at USM outside with you guys, right? So what I'm going to talk about today will revolve around two types of platform. Can you guess which not going to cover not so much? We can say which is not my least favorite.
Your least favorite is apa Android? Is it
Least favorite is Apple.
Apple?
I'm not saying Android or Windows are great. All are trying to make money out of us. But they are the least. If I say the most evil among this is Apple. Sorry to those who are Apple device users, iPhone, Mac, and all that. But I always had a spite against Apple for a long, long time. That's my personal take. If I want to talk about why I hate Apple, that takes about 2 to 3 hours. So let's not get into that. But some of it may be related. Some can be still applied to Apple devices, but most of the stuff I'm going to talk about is Windows and Android. Okay, so some statistics that I should throw, some boring data that I should throw. More than 3 times increase in work from home. 33% of businesses not prepared. This is specific to small companies, enterprises, SMEs, and so on. Not very much prepared. Those large organizations like MNCs or academia and so on are doing, although they are better, but still are not spared from cyber threats. 54% will push a lot of things to the cloud. We are already moving a lot of things to cloud, but with the pandemic, it is here to stay. A lot of our work will be based on cloud. 38% organization experience productivity gain. 84% anticipate permanent WFH. You can see the data. So 66% expect security threats related to work from home, and cause expose data, expose policies, trade secret, and so on. So malware phishing, unauthorized user, device access, and so on. These are some of the major issues that can be considered as crucial for workers that work from home. So anti-malware, firewall, SSL, VPN, and so on are considered to be top priority for employers, right? So if you look at this data is basically my own study. What I did was, this is something that we've been looking at since 2019. So what we've been studying is, we've been looking at is how is probing being carried out. So if you know that the internet is exposed, right, it's open, anybody can try to access your machine, your router and all that from anywhere in the world. So if I can do that, I scan the whole internet and probe each IP address and see if it's up. If it's up, what's happening over there? Is there anything open? Is there any vulnerability that exists that I can take advantage of? Right? So it's a lot of bad guys out there will be, freer in 2020. They have more time, and more of these people will actually carry out probing, scanning, and so on. So if you look at the chart I'm showing, in 2019, the probing activity was around, what do you call this, 100 million points, meaning that In 2019, about 100 million probing attempt was carried out. It's not question whether they were able to break in, but just that whether they're checking the door, whether the door is locked or not. That's what we mean by probing. So they had more time. They walked around from one house to another, try to open the door, try to open the door, try to open the door. And in 2020, more people actually started doing this. More hackers, more criminals try to open the doors of each computers that is online. So if you can see, it's very clear that people trying to break in, or the criminals trying to break in, attempt to break in has gone up like 4 or 5 times. In 2021, we don't have the data and we have not collected it yet. We believe it is even much higher than that. And this is expected to continue even into next year, even when we go back to normalcy, because in this time, a lot of noobs, newcomers to hacking and all that would have gained new additional skills, expertise, and so on. And you have now bigger group of criminals that is going to try to break in into system in the coming years. All right. So I will just run through some of the most common cyber attacks. So man in the middle attack happens when somebody connects to your network and sniffs, looks at your whatever you're sending, takes it and modifies it and send it out. This is uh, this can impact organization. It can also impact people like us, individual. Phishing and spear phishing. It's basically, I mean, would have experienced this a lot, where you are sent fake email saying that you click on this, change your password by the bank, and so I think a lot of awareness has been sent out through this what do you call this for to mitigate this kind of attack. Drive-by attacks. Uh, this is basically, if you have your Wi-Fi open, I can just drive by. There are tools I can use to scan any access point that is open, or any access point that uses weak what do you call this, weak authorization or authentication approach. So also factors. I've actually driven around my taman and scanned for open access points. You'll be surprised the number of open access points that I found. The moment I have open access point, I can connect, and I can see what you're doing, right? You have the right tools. Botnet attacks is basically this is probably not for us. This is where for banks, for corporations, and so on. So they can be attacked where and services become unavailable. Social engineering attack is very common to people like us. We get tricked, we get duped, we get influenced to get something done. For example, many of us would have gone to certain websites to watch certain movie that is not on Netflix or Amazon, right? For example, we don't have HBO, Hulu, and so on. What if the program that you like is available on those platforms? What would you do? If the program I love is on HBO Max, how do I gain access to it? There's two ways you might get access to it. Over there, hello, Lang.
To other VPN.
True.
Oh, sorry, through other VPN.
Using VPN. Betul kah?
Yep, correct.
So VPN is kind of legal way of getting access to content that is not available. Okay, let's say saya tak nak bayar duit for my VPN. So what else would you do? VPN is not free. Cut. Okay, there's two things you might do. You either go to torrent, right? Torrent, go search for the program and download it. Or you go to illegal sites where they host movies and series that is available on all these platforms. Like 1, 2, 3 movies, right? So these are some of the illegal ways we get it. But when you go to these sites, when you download movies and all those sort of things, when you go to illegal websites, you'll see all kinds of pop-ups. You must download this before you can watch this. You must do this before you can do this, right? There's always something that you must do. And because you're so desperate to watch that program, you will do whatever the website tells you. And you'll end up downloading malwares into your computer, into your laptop, and so on, right? So social engineering is very big. This is how a lot of malwares, a lot of data theft happens, because the user is the weakest link in any system. Because now it's getting difficult to hack systems. What they do, they hack the user, right? Us, kita semua bodoh, right? Apa ni, mudah diperdaya, right? So we become the easiest way for hackers to get their stuff into your computer or steal information from your computer, right? So let's try not to be bodoh, right? If you're going to, I mean, the thing is that if you're going to, if you know you're going to do it, you need to do it. You know it's wrong. You know you're going to get infected and stuff. Okay, fine. If I say don't do it, you're not going to listen. But if you're going to do it with protection. Do it the right way. Do the wrong thing in the right way, right? You know, I will talk some of it, but because how to do the wrong thing in the right way is a whole day workshop, so I can't cover it today. But I will share some certain points here and there as we go on, right? Malware attacks. We don't call virus anymore. We don't call virus. We don't call Trojan. We don't call worm. People don't write virus. People don't write worm. People don't write Trojan. They put all this capability into one program, malicious program, where it is a virus, it is a worm, it is a bot, it is a Trojan, it is everything. So it is a cocktail of bad things. So since it's a cocktail, we need one name for it, and we call it malware. All right. So earlier SQL injection, cross-site scripting are all concerns of organizations. So something that we can't do unless you host a website or own a system that is public accessible. Password attacks, we'll talk about it later. I think many of us still like to use simple passwords, easy to remember. I know that, you know, certain website you go, you say, oh, must use caps lock, uppercase. Go to another, so oh, must be 10 characters. Go to, oh, must have combinations of numbers and symbols. Go another, you must have all this. So password, remembering password gets laborious, right? So how do you remember passwords? Since, you know, different sites have different requirement of creating passwords. So how do you remember all these passwords? Anyone?
Secret.
Secret.
Nanti bocor rasa.
Secret apa? Secret. Your password secret ah?
Tak boleh bagi tahu.
Tak boleh bagi tahu. Memang tak boleh bagi tahu. Kalau bagi tahu susah nanti. Tapi soalan saya, mungkin anda ada banyak password kan? Pergi website lain semua ni, keperluan password dia berlainan. Password, kata laluan. Tapi macam mana nak ingat password-password ni? How do you remember passwords from different websites that has different requirements?
Maybe by adding some character at the end of it.
Okay, but sometimes do you remember the characters you add?
We use something that is related to us.
Yeah, and you also know that certain websites will say, I forgot my password. Okay, here's your, please go reset. You put your old password back. Oh, you cannot use your old password. What would you do then? I know many of you,
Google Chrome.
many of you we'll use safe R. Google, please remember for me. Is that a good idea?
Google Plus.
Not Google Plus. Google Plus no more already. Shut down long time. In your Google's browser, you can log into your browser, and you can allow
Remember password.
Google to save the password to all your websites that you have logged in. Do you think that's a good idea?
No.
No, for two reasons. One, don't trust Google too much, right? Number two, your browser can be infected with malware, and this malware can sniff through your browser and steal all the content that is stored in your settings of your browser. I mean, I've been telling my dad every time I visit him, his browser, his browser window will be like 20%, the rest will be toolbars. I asked him, Dad, what is this? He said, this application or system said that if I install this, it will speed up my internet. So I install that. But the fact is that is actually a malware that has infected the browser. The browser is now sniffing information from all your activities on your browser, and whatever stuff you have in your setting will be sent to some guy in Russia or wherever else, right? Do not use Google Chrome to store your password. Bad idea. All right. You may ask then, where do I store? I'll come to that later. It's already half an hour gone. Sorry. So DDoS, denial of service attack, distributed denial of service attack. It's really insider attack, data. Okay. DOS and DDoS are basically a problem of enterprises, organization, banks, government sites, and all that. Something they have to address. It may not be relevant to us. Inside attack, data breaches is both affects individuals like us and others, other organizations. Cryptojacking, you may ask, what does malware do on my computer? Malware doesn't damage your files. Malware doesn't do any form of harm to your computer. It's like, it infects your computer. You will never know it's there, right? But before that, Windows or any other OS would ask you, hey, it looks like malware. Sure, you want to install, allow it to install. What would we do? We say, Windows P2P set and install juga, right? You jangan sibuk, right? When your anti-malware, your operating system tells you don't install, and we proceed to install, right? And malware tells you, thank you, I will not harm you in any way, but I'm going to use your computer for my use from time to time. I hope it's okay. That's how malwares are behaving nowadays. They most of the time pretend to be your OS program running. Sometimes even anti-malware also cannot detect. They'll be sitting there and they don't do any damage. And if you're like, leave your computer idle, what the malware does is that while your computer's idle, it will start to do mining, Bitcoin mining, right? They will use your computer to do Bitcoin mining. They will probably use 10% or 5% of your computer as power, right? So you say 10%, take it lah, no problem. But imagine you would have similarly about 100,000 or million computers could have been infected with the same malware. A million computers at 10% capacity mining Bitcoin for some guy in Russia, right? You're talking about 100,000 fully dedicated computers. So he's making like $1 million a day or even in an hour and all that, but it has no impact on us, right? Our computers is not affected. It's working fine, right? So if you're okay with that, that is fine. No issues. So you can leave it there. So most malware nowadays doing two things. Either using a computer to do crypto mining or crypto jacking, or ransomware. We'll come to that in a while. All right. So these are some of the cyber attacks that's common out there. There's more than this, but these are the most common ones. Some are related to us, affects us, some affects organizations, but nevertheless, the impact is long lasting. All right. As I mentioned earlier, right? So let us talk about what we should do and not do. Pirated software. How many of us, how many of you use pirated software? Nobody want to say anything? No. Mangale said with a computer. No. That makes me more suspicious that she does. None of us go to pirated sites, download software, or get crack software. You know, I have this software, I need to crack it so that, you know, the trial period is removed and stuff like that. Nobody has done this. I only hear win.
All hiding.
Ya, everybody hiding. Tak nak mengaku tak apa. Aida also very confident. No.
Law-abiding citizens.
Law-abiding citizen, yeah, right.
Yes.
Then why? Okay, 5-6 years ago, up to 5-6 years ago, you go to Laoyat, you go to all this place. Why is the place full of pirated CD shops? Sila jawab soalan saya sekarang.
I think none from this group, I think.
Oh, really?
Ya. Kita semua baik-baik tau.
Baik-baik. Aduh. Saya percaya, saya amat bangga dengan grup ni.
Well protected.
Risik-risik saja.
Risik-risik.
Tengok-tengok, we
Okay
know
lah.
what's out there lah, you know, but we
You-
don't touch it.
You know, but you're not part of it lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
know what's
Saya
around us, but
percaya,
don't touch
saya amat bangga. Saya amat bangga. Okay, bagus. Semua pakai open source ah.
Using
Nina.
different username.
Hiding ah. Okay, tak apa. How many of you use torrent?
Never.
Never. Hey, I use torrent.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't, huh? Okay, I use torrent to download open source software. A lot of the word torrent is not bad. It's how you use it. Torrent is also used as a channel to distribute open source software. Dia dengar, oh, torrent tu bukan jahat. Orang yang guna torrent tu mungkin jahat.
betul. Yeah.
Okay, the problem with that is, I see I only got 20 minutes. This is my problem. I like to talk. Why do anyone buy a legitimate software, let's say Microsoft Office, crack it, right, and put it on torrent? What is this? Community service? Are these people helping the world? You know, I want to help the world. I'm the cyber Robin Hood. Betul lah? Why do people put effort, time, and all that to study the softwares? What do you call this? Source code, crack it, remove whatever limitation it has, and put it on torrent. Why? Someone fell down? No. Anyone? Why? Any idea?
Maybe they want fame.
Fame. Well, you don't know who you download from. What? Okay, the reason
Or
is
maybe they attach with malware.
because no free lunch in this world. If it's free, either you are the product, because you know Facebook is free, Instagram is free. No, but there's no product. Then who's the product? You are the product. You're selling your personal information by a lamba habis, you know, give it to them. So you sell your information, they give you free service, right? I decided not to cover privacy because berbuih mulut saya cakap don't do this over the past few years. Nobody wants to listen. Still want to share stuff, personal stuff, very detailed stuff. You still do it. I say give up lah, but right. So I don't want to talk about privacy issue. How do you protect yourself, right? So at the end of the day, we talked about malware just now, right? Where do this malware come from? One, social engineering. You are tricked to download the malware into your computer. You are influenced to download it to your computer. Number one. Number two, pirated software, right? So what they will do is they will get that software, they invest a bit, crack it, and then they will embed their malware and they put it online. Sometimes you notice that when you install the software, the cracked software, you'll be playing a techno music. Why? Now I'll say, crack this, install this. Yes. While we're doing this, please listen to our this techno music. It says we want to distract you. We want to distract you, because we're installing malware in the background. So we want you to be happy while we do our stuff. All right. So that's the reality of pirated software. 90%, recent data, 92% is laden with malware. Some software, pirated software, even have 2 or 3 malwares. That's a community. Cyber criminal community is a very close-knit community. They have brothers around. Right, bro, I have this virus, this malware. Can you help me? I say, okay, no problem. I'll put it into this office crack that I'm putting that few other guys also asked me to put. So when you're actually installing, don't know how many number of malwares into your computer. Right? And when you install Windows, will say, hey, ini macam virus, macam malware, janganlah. Pergi main jauh-jauh. I want to install. I need this software. Cannot deny. Mary said this meeting recording. Oh, no wonder. Takut juga. Okay, so do not use pirated software. So lucky I'm not teaching about how to do the wrong things right. So I'm not doing that. No, I'm a good guy. Okay, let's continue. Have you been to this site?
Nope, never.
Okay,
never
what
found
you do, right? You go to this site, type your email. Boleh dipercayai. It will tell you all the websites where the website has been hacked and the password has been exposed. Can you see the website I'm showing? Boleh nampak ya?
No, I just nampak the slide je.
Nampak slide je. Nanti saya tukar. Let me unstop share. Share screen. Screen 1. Boleh nampak ya? Can you see the screen?
Yes, can see.
Okay.
Yes.
So go to have I been, it's owned. It's actually have I be owned. They replace O with P because what comes after O alphabet is P. So it's saying that we have owned and gone beyond that. That's why they put P there. Beyond own. Okay, so have I been on? Type your password, email, then check. Which website your email has been exposed. I already tukar dah semua tempat ni. Right? So go log into all these sites where you have account, change your password. Because hackers can log in using your account because the user ID password has been exposed. All right.
So, question, Silva.
Yes.
So all this listed here are yours, is it? Is it yours?
This is mine. This is my email.
And all of them were in a way owned.
they own the website, not own Mila.
Yeah.
They own the website they own their website where I have an account. That means I registered, let's say registered in Canva, right? And after in 2019, some hacker went into Canva, stole all user information and put it online. So all my account information is there. Username, basically username, password. So what you should do if you see it here, log into Canva. What I did, log into Canva and change my password. That's all you need to do.
Yeah. The only reason I asked was because I mean, from all of us, I think you are the expert here. You can easily be owned in that sense. Just imagine people like us, yeah.
No, I can't do anything. I don't own the website. If I own the website, then I can tell the, hey, you stupid fellas, go fix this.
No, but wouldn't that mean that I mean, if you're careful, I mean, all the things you shared with us, you're careful, you probably won't fall into that trap, right? That's what I would have thought.
Okay, the thing is that, do you need the service? Like, for example, LinkedIn. Do you need the service?
Yes.
So you need to trust them. So when you trust them, you are not sure whether they're going to do a good job or not, right? But you trust them. But there will be situations where things get exposed, like the one I'm sharing over here. What I'm saying is that this will happen no matter who you are.
Understand.
What I'm saying is that there's a website for you to keep an eye.
Understand.
Right? Probably I can share that even, I will tell you this, cybersecurity contractor for the US government, company called SolarWinds, was hacked earlier this year, and data of about 250 million US citizens was exposed. I'm talking about cybersecurity contractor to the US government. They themselves were hacked, and that was the data was exposed. So you can see data into how many pets they have, what kind of dogs they have, this kind of information. So data breach is very difficult. I want to show later, but I can show now.
While you're showing that, just sorry, I don't mind another question. So when you say that once you detect your whatever website there which is listed, so you can go in and change the password, but it is bound to happen again, right? That's what you're saying.
The thing is that once again, this, like for example, LinkedIn said, we have found the breach, we have found the flaw, we have found the vulnerability, we have fixed it. Now comes to the follow-up question: do you still trust them? Right? So they said, sorry, we screwed up, we have touched it. Please continue using our service. What is your answer to that?
I suppose you just have to decide whether you really need it or not. So if you need
it,
continue, right?
Exactly. So you put the trust on them again. You got hacked once. Okay, you hacked twice. Shame on you, right? So it'll come to a point where these guys are not doing a good job. So I've got no choice. I need the service, but at the same time, I don't want my data to be all over the internet. Right? Even Facebook has been hacked 3 or 4 times in the past 4 or 5 years. A lot of people still use it. I've been advocating leave social media. Nobody listens. Right? So you need it. Although hack happens, people still continue to use it. The best advice I can give is check this website, have I been owned, and make sure that you change your password wherever the website is listed. That's the best we can do.
Okay. Thank you for the explanation.
No problem. Okay, so if we go to this thing here, so you can see these are all the data breaches that's been happening since 20 years ago, right? So not much. As we move online, as we use online services more and more, as we use cloud services more and more, social media, you can see the amount of data breaches that's been happening around the world. And I don't know whether I can search filter. On search, there's a search. Okay, SolarWinds, like what I said just now, multiple US agencies were hit. So even the security provider supposed to protect you got hacked. That's bad. And 2017, Malaysian telco database was hacked. Really, that was not really a hack. The contractor that was responsible for managing data was not paid, so the guy got pissed and leaked out the whole database online. About 27 million Malaysian data was exposed, containing phone number, full address, IC number, phone you use, type of phone you use, and many other information was leaked online. And you can actually, if you're on the dark net, you can buy it for like $2. $2 for the whole Malaysian, not whole, it's about 27 million Malaysians' personal data. And you would have noticed after that breach, you have started receiving a lot of scam calls. Hey, I know this is your address, this is your IC number. We are calling from the court, we are calling from the police, and all that. These guys have gained access to that data that has been leaked and started threatening people by making fake calls. All right. Any questions? Any other questions? Let me look at the chat. No questions. Not yet. Okay. All right. Already 3:50. I'm not even halfway through. Always check your connection. Make sure it's HTTPS, not HTTP. I think your browser will tell you if it's HTTP, 70 to 80% probability that it is owned by a criminal. Why I say this is, if you need to do HTTPS, you need to buy the certificate. I don't think criminals want to buy certificate because you can be traced and caught, right? So always look at HTTPS, and also HTTPS make sure nobody can do eavesdropping or man in the middle tab, because whatever you send over HTTPS is encrypted. If it is HTTP, anyone in the network can see what's happening or what you're sending. How you can do that, I will come towards the end. I don't think we'll have time to do a demo. I'll just tell you the tools. You probably can go and explore that. Okay, so we talked about how do I manage my passwords. Two tools that you use, they are open source. They do not have any agenda and so on. One is KeePass, password safe, and the other one is 1Password. The URLs are in the slide. I will share the slide after the session is over. So this will be the best bet to store your many passwords that you have. In one of the talks, I was asked, what would be the ultimate way to keep my password safe? What do you think is the ultimate way to keep your password safe?
Memorize it.
Memorize it, right? Your mind is the ultimate, what do you call it, storage device
Secure.
for your passwords. Yeah,
Yeah, secure
the most
location.
secure, right? Unless somebody threaten you with a knife, I don't know lah.
Yeah, for now.
For now. Or the other option is write it on a piece of paper, or you have a small buku 35. If anybody, orang zaman saya buku 35. I was surprised to still see buku 35 in one of those supermarket that I went to a few weeks back. So get a buku 35, write your passwords there, hide it in a place where only you know. That's the ultimate way to store your password. Okay, if rumah terbakar, then too bad lah, right? Password. How do you decide on password? So this is something that I always share. This is a good example, right? I don't think we are all of interest to any hacker, so you don't have to look at how do I write a password for, so that it takes 7 quadrillion years to hack, right? This one only like it's overkill. I think look at this kind of password is fine. This is fine, right? If you're important person, then you have to go down this way. Less important, you go up, right? For my children, I only give this, right? So the list recently, which I agree, researcher says, use combination of words instead of using jargon, letters, symbols, and all that. Sometimes I see people type numbers like, they're doing some calculation, that's your password. No need. Combination of words that you can remember is more effective than passwords with complex numbers and all those things. So probably you should consider that when you name your create your account and so on. What symbol is this?
Anonymous.
Anonymous. This is not anonymous. This is incognito.
Cognito, yeah.
Incognito allows you to, in your browser, you can press Ctrl+Shift+N, and you. Hey, can you see my browser? Can?
Yeah.
Boleh.
Yes.
Okay. So when you go on incognito, this is for your security or privacy in your own computer, right? Meaning that whatever you do here will not be saved, stored, or tracked locally, right? So it provides you a sense of how should I say, protection in terms of nobody else can see. If you're sharing computers and all that, then you can do Ctrl+Shift+N, you'll come to incognito mode, and in this, nothing is stored. It's not logged into your account, nothing is done. It is like a sandbox. Whatever you do here, do, and then you can, when you close the browser, everything disappears. All right, so you can use this, but remember, whatever you, this is what is not done. Your browsing history, cookie, information entered in forms, all of this will disappear. But what is not controlled by incognito, the website you go, that website can still see where you're coming from. Your company or your whoever's monitoring your network can still where you're going. Your ISP can see where you're going. All right. So incognito also provides some protection from being infected with malware, because whatever you do here, even infected malware gets in. Once you close the browser, everything will be clear, right? It provides a certain sense of protection. Same with, I think it also has in Firefox. Apple users, Safari has incognito or anonymous. Any Apple users, I think, don't be afraid. I only hate Apple, not Apple users. Okay. So Apple Safari also has incognito type mode. But I think you can also use Firefox Chrome on Apple, right? So download that lah, don't use Safari. Because also as a web developer, when we develop on Chrome, standard browsers, Chrome, Firefox, Brave, and so on, everything looks fine. The moment we put it or show it on Safari, everything is broken. So very painful. All right. I would, most of the time, I use this browser, these two browsers, Brave and Tor. Brave, because it will automatically, it is based on the same engine that Chrome uses, Chromium, but it is, what do you call this? It can stop from people like Google, Facebook, and all this from tracking what you're doing on your browser. It also, because they can block all these trackers, it loads much faster than if you're on a device. So on my Android device, I have both Chrome and Brave, but I use Brave most of the time because it is fantastic in terms of speed, security, and privacy. So I would recommend you guys use Brave on all devices. It also has what do you call this version that is supposed for Apple, iOS, and so on. And the other browser, which is Tor, is a bit special, is that it allows, it does not use your ISP to connect to wherever you're going. Tor basically creates a VPN internal to the browser to whoever that is. So you can contribute to Tor network. That means I can be part of your network, meaning that I become a node in your network. So if somebody in let's say in India or Pakistan say wants to use Tor to connect to somewhere else, I can volunteer to be the proxy, the intermediate node, so that he will connect to me or she will connect to me, and I will connect to whatever browser they want to or whatever website they want to go to. So that website will see my IP, not the person who actually wants to connect to that website. So it's not doesn't come to me and go straight to the website. It comes to me, then goes to another node, goes to another node, then goes. Like in the movies when you watch, I'll track this guy. Look at the man. The first fellow will be jumping around. Cannot find where this fellow is. Those days, yes, that was fiction. Now you can actually do that. You can hide your location from wherever you are. So whenever they check your IP, it'll be showing IP in US, in China, in India, in Russia. Will not show your location. It will show some other location. All right. So it is very good to protect your privacy in terms of security. Certain malware will only infect certain, they're interested in, for example, China and US, they have this Cold War going on. Russia and US have this. So hackers in Russia interested only infect computers in US. China only interested in infecting Russia, American computers. So they will look at the IP. Oh, this IP US. Let's infect. All right. So in that respect, this browser also helps you to not becoming victim unnecessarily. All right. So you can go type Brave, go type Tor, and all of these are open source. You can download it for free. This is also important. Remember, I talked about probing. They check whether your computer is online or not. And all of us have routers at home where all of our computers connect to the router. So the router is the attack point. So what happens is that when I probe all these IPs, then what do you call this? I probe these IPs and it finds this IP is alive. This IP is alive and it has a website 80 or 443. There's a website running. So you access the website and you see this is D-Link router, blah, 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 and so on. How many of us, or how many of you have actually checked your router's default password and changed? How many?
I change it every 3
Good,
months.
good. You must be IT background,
HR.
HR, okay. Then you should be in IT then. So many of us will not change the password. Pasang dan itu saja. Try access Facebook. Boleh try access Facebook, boleh tak? Oh, Facebook jalan. Okay, cantik. That's it. Nobody will bother about the router having default password. Should we change it and all that? So if you don't do that, what happens is that all router have default password. Let me show this page. That's low. This password. So you can, based on the website it shows, I can actually look for what's the model brand, D-Link. D-Link. Most of routers by Nexus, PM, and all that. D-Link or TP-Link. Find password. You can see all the models here, which is also shown on the website, and all the protocols and what is the default password, username, and so on. I log in, then I'll say DMZ everything. That means demilitarize. Open up everything. Once they open up everything, I can sniff into all the traffic that goes through your router, right? So please check your router, ensure it is not, I'm not saying they're going to attack, but do you want to leave it open? Of course, those working from home, very important. If your company has VPN, good. If your company doesn't provide VPN, get your own VPN. There are many VPNs out there, NordVPN, Shark VPN. I'm more inclined to Proton VPN. Download this, run. And it also like the Tor browser, it allows you to connect to different locations and so on, and go to another website server, whatever you are hidden. VPNs provide protection for the whole computer. Tor browser is only for the browser. If I use other application like like Zoom and all that, you're not protected. But if you if you want to hide, or you want to ensure the end-to-end encryption is enabled, use a VPN. So in this case, I use Proton VPN, where once you install and run this, it protects anything and everything that connects from your computer, your email client, your browser, your game, and also, like one of our friends said earlier, you want to watch content not available in Malaysia. Do you know that Netflix, Amazon is not generic all over the world? If Malaysia, you can only watch certain things.
Yes,
In
yes.
see, ni banyak guna VPN ni. What VPN do you use?
From US, I can't remember the name.
Oh no, okay. Asalkan dapat tengok awal cerita tu, okay lah.
Yeah, US is better Netflix than here.
Yeah, better. So anyway, that's not what you want to talk about. But the thing is, that advantages of using VPN is multifold. But for purpose of our talk, security and privacy improves if you use VPN, because the server that you connect to will help you also to protect from certain sites and so on and so forth. Okay, well, I'm using free VPN, saya kena quote, because most of the work I need free. Proton VPN free version allows you about 500 meg or 1 gigabyte a day. So any research I want to do in security and all that, I will use that. Rest of the time I don't use VPN. So, but if you for company purposes, if they don't provide, probably you should consider one of the VPNs available out there. All right. So the other important thing is ransomware. Ransomware has become a major issue nowadays. Ransomware is a type of malware. It's a malware that does this. So what does ransomware do is, it will, once the malware gets into your machine through social engineering or through pirated software or whatnot, it will encrypt all your files, all your documents, data files on your computer, and says, okay, saya sudah encrypt. Kalau nak data file tu, kena bayar maybe I don't know what you call that in bahasa. Ransom, must pay ransom. Kena bayar ransom. So they'll say you must pay $300 to get access to your files. So do you pay?
No. Reformat.
No.
Reformat. Hey, well, I need to. All my documents are there. All my photos are all sangkut. All these are important. Reformat.
Sudah backup dekat cloud lah.
Itu belum lagi. Kita belum cerita pasal cloud lagi. Sebelum tu, kalau tak ada cloud macam mana?
Redor lah.
So what you do is you say, I need access, so I'll pay the $300. But how do you pay the $300? Any idea? Oh, dia bagi account bank ah. Ni bank saya CIMB, nama saya ni. Not like that, right?
PayPal and crypto.
So they will ask you to pay in the form of Bitcoin through PayPal, right? They say you must pay 0.0000213 Bitcoin, which is equivalent to $300, and they'll give you the hash code for the account. Then you need to transfer. After you transfer, do you get the key to decrypt your files? No. Anda telah ditipu. So how? So kalau sekiranya Anda tak boleh nak, tak boleh nak elak benda-benda yang illegal ni, you know that you will still go, right? And you have a lot of important documents and photos or whatever inside your file in your computer or your phone. back up everything to the cloud. For Android users, you can download, for Windows users, you can download Drive for desktop. Every Gmail account is given 15 GB free. So you can download Drive for desktop, install it on your computer. Whatever goes into that folder will automatically get synced to the cloud. It will be moved to the cloud real time. So I save a document, immediately goes to the cloud. So you don't have to worry about losing the document. So you can say, macam mana lepas kena ransomware, it gets locked. That one also will get synced, right? Yes. The advantage is on Google Drive, whenever you sync the same file, it will keep the old versions. You will never lose the old versions. The supported by versioning. You type something, you save, this version file will be there. Then you edit the document again, save. You will not override the old file. You will add as a new version. Ransomware kena, upload a new version. Then you revert back to the old version. So you'll never lose your documents or data once you move it to the cloud. I don't know how Apple folks do it. If you look at the phone, you can also, Android also can back up stuff to the same Google Drive folder or other locations which you can configure. Actually, all this takes about 1 to 2 days full workshop to do hands-on and all. So I'm just exposing you to what's available out there and how you can protect yourself. All right. So this is important that you do. Right. The next is always, how do I know if my computer is infected with malware and all that? Go to your apps and setting features, check your list of applications that is installed, sort it by install date, showing the most recent, and see if there's any funny installation that you say, siapa install ni? Bukan saya. Right? So you need to check here. That's step number 1. Step number 2, get Sumo. Don't go hire a Sumo wrestler or anything. So software update monitor, open source. All right. Then it will scan through your computer and see what software you have, you have, and by who. If it is a proper company, then it will tell you all this. It's signed or not, what version, read okay, is update available. Why this is important is any old software that is not updated for a long time is also a security risk. Old software that is not patched will become a backdoor for hackers to come in, for malwares to infiltrate, to be replaced by malicious software and so on. So run this and update all the software that says that it's available. Of course, this is a free version of Sumo. It will tell you, hey, you need to do this, but it will not do it for you. But if you don't mind paying a bit, I think this is what, $3, $4. If you don't mind paying that much, then it can say, hey, I found these are not updated. I can help you to update it. You want me to do it? That is where, when you upgrade this to the paid version. Okay, but minimally get this free version, right, to see what softwares you have that you do not know, right? Yeah, and beyond that, how updated they are. Very, very important. I don't have time already, running out. Okay, securing app permission, Google Play Protect, right? This is something you can check from Google Play. 2-factor authentication, use your phone. Make sure any website that allows 2-factor to be allowed. Lockdown allows, what do you call this? Phone to be locked from access from anyone else, meaning that some illegal guy or thief say, hey, unlock this, then you can invoke this. Screen pinning, gas mode, use these browsers as I mentioned. You can please install the VPN for Android if you can. And Find My Device is also important, right? When you go to Google, type Find My Device, Android. If you do that, then you can come to this page. So you know where I live lah. Okay, somewhere near Kampung Juru in Penang, right? So if you lost your phone, you don't know where you left it, you say play sound. It will blast the ringtone of your phone. You can secure the device if it is lost or stolen, right? But if you really don't want the device, you can ask it to delete everything from the device. You can do this as long the device is no matter where, as long it has internet connection. All right. So it is also dangerous in the sense that if you're logged in and somebody you don't like uses the browser, they can also do this to your phone. Okay, so I think all of us are parents. Because we're working from home, we also have to share devices. They also get their devices and so on. Windows 10 has a feature where you can manage your family members. You can add family member over here, right? And you can control what they do on your computer or PC, right? So this is something you can do for your children, for your kids. So like my sons, whenever they want to play a game, I have to authorize. I can specify hours and so on and so on and so forth. This is for Windows. And most importantly, most of our kids share our phone or they have their own device, right? There's something called Family Link in Android, where I am the manager. I have two boys, which are supervised, meaning that whatever they do on the phone or whatever they do on the browser, as long as they're logged in, it has to be approved by me. No matter what they do, it has to be approved by me. If they want to install an app, has to be approved by me. And I get an alert using my phone or my browser. I can say allow, or I see something funny there. I go ask myself, apa benda ni? Nak kena tampak, right? So these are the things you can control for your children. This is some of the things like my son has signed in on a new device. I said, hey, what device did you log in? All right, so I need to go check what's happening. And whenever he installs a software, I also get an email and an alert. My son has recently installed an app on his device. What app? Google Fit. Nak kurang berat. Okay lah. Good. Keep it up. All right. So these are other tools that you can use for your kids. More information. I wanted to cover this. So this is basically a gateway to becoming a hacker. Well, when you talk about security, you need to understand how the bad guys work so that you can be more prepared. These are the two tools you should look at if you're planning to learn cybersecurity more towards white hat hacking and so on. Nmap allows you to map everything that is in your network. If you're at home, you can use Nmap to see what devices that is running. Your refrigerator, your son's phone, your daughter's phone, your wife's laptop. It can show every device that is running in your network. Can be home, can be office, can be anywhere. And you can basically probe into each of these devices and see what device it is. Is it a computer, PC? What does it run? What kind of vulnerability or exposure security issue it has? And you can analyze and so on. This is a bit more technical, but people with basic background of computers and all that can start working on this. Wireshark, on the other hand, will monitor your network. It can show you everything that is being dumped out, the packets, right? The content of like for example, I say HTTPS. If you send HTTPS, I can only see from where to where you're going, right? I can find out if you're going to Facebook and all that. If you're using HTTP, I can know this. I can also know what are you exchanging? What's the content? Are you talking bad things about me? I can actually sniff the network and see what's happening in the network. So these tools are very important if you're planning to become a noob hacker. All right. So let me stop lah. I talk too much today. So thank you. Any questions? These are my emails. I've started blogging to share my frustration about cyberspace, and that's my phone number, WhatsApp, if you would like to know more, discuss more about this area. Thank you.
Maybe Mr. Silva, you should open up a YouTube channel.
YouTube channel lah. Orang tak nak tengok saya, tak cantik.
The content is good, man.
Start tak ada tengok 3-4 view je.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Selva. This is very interesting. I personally enjoyed it. Before we leave, I appreciate your feedback on this session. If any of you employers would like to have in-house training about this topic, I can contact Dr. Selva directly.
Yeah, so I think what we can do is give hands-on session how you can actually use the tools and technologies for your benefit and for your company's benefit, and also understand about how internet technology works, also useful for you to really understand what's happening in the background.
Silva, could you share your last slide where your contact information was there, please?
Oh, sorry, hang on. Yes, please. Do you see it?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
All right. Have any questions? I think if you want to ask, you can ask. Or malu-malu nak message saya kemudian pun boleh. What do you call this? If you're interested to pursue your postgraduate in this topic, also you can contact me. Cybersecurity is a very big area. Malaysia is really lacking in expertise in this area. And every time the journalists ask, I said, we need expertise, we need to build capacity, but nothing is happening. I'm quite sad about that. So the least I could do is create awareness here and there, like what I'm doing here.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Selva. Is there any more questions from the floor? I think that's it, Dr. Selva. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a
Thank you.
Bye,
good
everyone.
evening. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you. I got your address.
Oh, jangan stalk saya.
Tadi
Bye.
you show.
Itulah.
Okay. Bye.
Kalau awet cantik, okay lah. I don't care. Okay, bye. Bye, thank you.